Hey, what's up guys? Today's video is very short. It's just me going on and on about Tesla and kind of the current state of things. I am driving the car, or the car is driving me here to the library. I just wanted to comment really quick about the current state of Tesla and where they're at. I have not gotten a chance, I've been so busy today, to check the stock, but whether it's up or down, it doesn't matter to me. I think it's really important that we all focus on the long term with Tesla. Yashu Sharma, who posts a lot of videos about Tesla stock and forecasting and all the ins and outs of trading, I have a lot of respect for him. He takes it to a whole nother level. I'm a big fan of Tesla, but I would never go all in on a stock. People that go all in make people either really jealous, or they become a laughing stock because they either are very successful or they're not successful, right? And of course, everybody gravitates toward the people that are extremely successful, and they look at them as a huge success story. And it's like, wow, if only I had known. And then they become some person that supposedly had superpowers and knew the future, and they're suddenly regarded as like this huge expert. And they're like now a gleaming star and incredible, I won the lottery. But it's not, they don't pawn it off as luck. They pawn it off as, I knew it, I told you, that's why I went all in. But in reality, you have no idea. And that's why I always advocate. And someone mentioned recently they wanted to see more videos from me on finance. That's one of my passions in life. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for me investing and saving money. First step is to save money for an emergency fund. Second step is to then start saving incrementally to be able to put a little bit into investments over time. And I'm not talking about your 401k. A lot of people, when they hear, oh, I have to invest my money, I'll put it in, I'm already doing that. They think they're kind of quiet about it. They don't really talk about it, but they think that they're investing by putting money in their 401k. 401k is great. There's nothing wrong with a 401k because you get that tax advantage. I love tax advantage accounts, and I think you should take advantage of them to the fullest. 401k, Roth IRA, max those out as much as you can. The 401k, hard to max out sometimes if you have a family of 5 and a single family income like me. I don't think I've ever been able to max out my 401k. People are probably going to look at me and say you're dumb because I actually, rather than maxing out my 401k, I like to have my own investment account, which is called an individual account. Anyway, I'm going to save finance. I could go on and on for weeks on finance topics. I will save that for another channel or another video or two or more, many more. But today's video is all about Elon Musk. There was recently a big riot up in Libertyville. They had a bunch of anti-Elon Musk, anti-Trump protesters outside of the Tesla dealer. And then they had some pro-Tesla folks that were combating them, but they were far outnumbered. I'll try to pull up the article and throw it into this, but a friend of mine brought it up to me, and he's pro-Musk. He supports Tesla. He supports now. Just because you support Tesla does not mean you support Musk. Let me just put that straight out there. I support both, but I recognize that Musk has been controversial. He's stepping into this political area that he never used to be so vocal about, and now he's so close to the president that he is just, that's all he thinks about. And someone could point out one thing or another that he said that was incorrect. And in fact, Grok, his own AI language tool now on, it's more than just language, but it's available as a standalone app and also built into X, has the ability to ask it whatever question you want. And someone asked the question, who is the largest spreader of misinformation? And it came back and they said, keep it really short, because if you don't say that, it comes up with like these 5-10 paragraphs of answers. And it's like, I don't care about all that stuff. Just give me the one answer I'm looking for. And you know what the answer was? It was Elon Musk. So I get it. Elon is very polarizing, but when everything is said and done, Elon will still come out as being one of the biggest innovators of our time period. He will be in the history books as a hero, and he will be regarded as the next Einstein. And I mean, more than Einstein. I mean, the amount of stuff that he has accomplished is absolutely mind-boggling. Now, the other side of the equation is money equals power, power equals greed, greed equals evil. And I get that. You know, people feel that now our world is being controlled by these by this minority, and the minority has always been kind of viewed as being evil. You know, they have the most amount of money. They can create these huge swings. They have a lot of pull. And then, is it good? Is it bad? Is it in? The thing is, it's too early to say that it's bad. And that's just what blows my mind, is so many people think that Elon is out to get everybody else and he's super evil. You have to remember that Elon, ever since he was a kid, and if you haven't read Walter Isaacson's biography of Elon Musk, pick up a copy, read and do your homework. This guy was beat up and taken advantage of his whole life. And then when he was starting to grow his business and become really successful as an American car manufacturer, which is very, very difficult to do, he was ignored by the Biden administration. You have to remember some of the history here. You can't just come to paint a big picture and just say, oh, he's evil and everything is bad and this is not good. You can't do that. It's unfair, in my opinion, to do that. You can't paint those broad strokes. So it annoys me when people post these things. And there's a gentleman, I'm trying to remember his name, Matt Smith, who posted a pyramid, and he said he's posted it multiple times. It was, for me, the first time I had seen it, but it was a very interesting way of describing the way people react. And there's like the knee-jerk reaction of, they're wrong, I'm right. And it's like no backup. They come out and just say that they're right. And it's like, okay, well, then it's baseless. No, there's nothing to go behind it. And then there's like a little bit of evidence, there's a little bit more, and then it becomes like an intelligence chart where it's like, okay, now you're backing it up and you're talking about the core issue, and you're backing it up with facts and purpose, and you're really being how should I say, methodical about how you go about replying to somebody. Right now, we just have a ton of people that are taking one or two things out of context and running with it. And it's really annoying to me. And especially when you see these protesters, they've got one sign and they're at this rally and they're chanting one thing over and over and over and over again. And it's almost like they're like possessed, or they have some demon inside of them. It's like, come on, dude. Like, there's a lot more than that one thing you're bringing up. We get it. That may not have been the best thing ever that happened in that specific moment, but you can't just take one thing out and pick it apart and say that that's the biggest problem, and we're out with that person, and we can't deal with it anymore. I'm going on and on about this, but it's worth having this discussion. So this is the reason why I'm talking about all this. And by the way, my mom said she's nervous to get a new Tesla. She wants to get a new car. And I talked about this in my last video. A lot of her friends are saying, oh no, you definitely don't want to get the Tesla. You want to get a hybrid RAV4. And another friend is like, no, don't go electric at all. Stay gas, because you want to have long, think of all the gas stations, and think of when you travel up to Frankfurt, for example, you're going to need a lot of range. You're going to be limited. So people are coming all out everywhere from all different directions telling my mom, you don't want to go all electric. Well, my mom doesn't care about that. She just doesn't want to deal with the oil and the gas anymore, and the maintenance as well. So I don't blame her. So she is looking at Tesla. But she said to me, she's worried when she parks it somewhere that it's going to get vandalized. And I told her, I said, just park your car far away, turn on Sentry mode, keep track of it. and just don't worry about it. If you were living in another state, so she lives in Michigan, she lives in Portage, Michigan, which is not that big of a city, and there's not a lot of crime there, unless you go to Kalamazoo. There's more crime there, but even if you compare Kalamazoo to like Chicago or another city, you're really not looking at a ton of crime. So I told her, you don't need to worry so much about that. But that's still riding on her mind. And you just think of all these people that have this hate, and it drives them to do stupid things. In Europe, the sales for Tesla are going down. There's a lot of bad news going around about Tesla, about the sales going down, about this and that. But look, this is the point of my video. All of this is short term. This is not going to last very long. Elon will once again in the future be proven to be the innovator of our generation, the hero. He will come out ahead. Right now, people are afraid because they don't know what's going on. They kind of think that there's some unknown business taking place. They think that something is happening, that the carpet's being yanked out from underneath them. They are afraid. People are afraid because they don't know what's going on. And I saw that Elon, I think Elon tweeted this, that all federal employees are going to be required to submit everything that they did for that week. And that's to prove that they're actually getting work done. And when I read that, I thought to myself, oh, that's kind of scary, because if that happened to me, I'd be, first of all, I wouldn't be very happy about that, because someone's now doubting my judgment and doubting my work ethic, and they're questioning my my value to the organization, when I know that I'm adding a lot of value and I'm raising the bar and pushing forward to continue to improve the company. But now that's completely out the door, and these people are kind of, it's like fresh slate. It's like if you've ever seen that movie Office Space, where they have these third-party auditors come in and they're basically there to fire people. That's what's going on with our federal government right now. All these government agencies, and especially like when you look at the Pentagon, there's so much spending. So and then you could argue, and this is again the other side. I totally get it. The other side is saying, well, that one person, come on, how much money are you really going to save by going down the line each individual federal employee? Well, we have to remember that some of these employees are making absurd amounts of money for doing literally nothing. And we have to remember that that is happening. Is it happening everywhere? No, but we should call it out when we see it. And the problem is that has not been called out for God knows who long, God knows how long. And it's just it's not good, because it's our money. It's the taxpayers' money. It was also mentioned that, and I think this was just a joke or a rumor, and again, I don't want to be the guy spreading misinformation, but someone was saying that Elon, or someone said that through Doge and the Department of Government Efficiency, that we would all, as taxpayers, every American would get $5,000. I don't think that's going to happen, but to think about that is kind of interesting, because it's like, well, yeah, I could kind of see that happening. Someone was saying that there's no way they're going to achieve that much savings. But then let's say they did. All that money would just be spent anyway, just going back to the American people, which we deserve it. I mean, I'm not going to complain if I get free money like that. But the fact of the matter is, we paid that money thinking that we were actually, why shouldn't we get that money back? No, I mean, there are a lot of problems in our government right now. So at the end of the day, Elon is doing his best, and I truly don't believe that he is the root of all evil, like some people make him out to be. Is he greedy? Yes. Does money drive him? Absolutely. Is he bottom line, kind of more a corporate person and not a government person? Yes. But does that make him the villain? Does that make him the enemy? I don't think so. So I think time will tell. Again, it comes down to time. And long story short, and again, this is all over the place, but it's my strong opinion that we need to remain confident in Tesla's future. And I'm just talking about Tesla here. I'm not talking about SpaceX, Neuralink, or any of the other companies that Elon runs. I'm talking about Tesla. And the reason why I say this about Tesla is because it could go down in the near term. And in fact, I just read an article, Warren Buffett's taking money out of the S&P 500. He thinks we're very top heavy. In other words, the market is highly overvalued right now. So he's taking money out, establishing more of a cash position, even though he already has a big cash position. But my point is that we might have a pullback in the overall market, which will additionally cause Tesla to go down. So could and will Tesla go lower? Yes, absolutely. But long term, if you look 10, 20 years, it's a very safe, in my opinion, a very safe investment. And again, this is not financial advice, but if you're looking at Tesla overall as a company and the position that it's at today, and you're worried about either owning a Tesla or owning Tesla shares or whatever it is, don't be so worried. This is all temporary, and I can promise you that. The fact of the matter is that this year we're potentially going to see a cybercab rolled out in addition, like a consumer grade where you can go out and buy it, a cybercab that you can buy, as well as the robotaxi, which is also a cybercab, that will be launching in June. And then we have the Model Y refresh, which is just shipping next month. And we have, I'm sure, another vehicle. There's so much stuff going on right now at Tesla, and the outlook is very positive. And I'm very optimistic about Tesla's future, especially its positioning. If you look at the top 500 companies, let's say, and then you boil it down to the top tech companies, Tesla has the best chance of success, in my opinion. And that's because they've been focusing on the long term, and they've been building the factory that builds the factory. And they are doing things much differently, much better than other companies. Hope you guys agree. Let me know what you think. I know this was a little bit opinionated, and I put a lot of my my own thoughts into this discussion or this monologue, but this is where my mind is at, and I honestly don't think that we need to be worried. So if you are concerned, especially if you're like overseas and you're like, I don't know, it's kind of unstable, uncertain, not sure what's going to happen, don't worry would be my main piece of advice. We will get through this. It is a short-term thing. Could be a year, could be even more, but don't go all in. And if you have, let's say you have $10,000, or let's say you have $5,000, whatever it is, don't put in, and that's not like all your money, obviously, but don't put it all into Tesla at once. Put a little bit in, put a little bit more in, and then just do it over time. That's the best. It's called dollar cost averaging. That's the best way to establish a position. And then don't forget to buy other stocks as well. There are other investment options other than Tesla, believe it or not. So don't forget about that, and be wise with your money. Make sure you diversify. I'm a big fan of the S&P 500, especially if you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s. S&P 500 is a sure bet. There's a lot of funds that you can get invested to diversify through that. Also, I don't necessarily advocate for bonds, but S&P 500 is a solid start, and I can get into a lot more thoughts and opinions on other things that you could purchase with your money besides Tesla. But Tesla is an important part of a portfolio, and an important, it has a bright future. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you later.